Mixture full rich. Magnetos both. Clear prop. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to FSX VATSIM VFR Training Episode 1 Control Zone Transits Tutorial. This is the flight briefing section, and I'm basically going to be taking you through everything that's going to be going on during the flight. And as you can see on the Sky Vector image, courtesy of skyvector.net, the image on the right is displaying pretty much more or less what our route is going to be this flight. There's going to be no nav aids apart from the Shoreham NDB on 332.0, but that isn't going to be part of this tutorial as this is control zone transits. And you may be able to guess the control zone or the CTA will be transiting through is the London Gatwick CTA, pretty much one of the busiest airports on VATSIM. But luckily it was early afternoon on a Sunday. So unfortunately, it wasn't too busy. I was hoping it would be a little bit busy, but there were some things in there that were a little bit out of the usual that I was told. And as you can tell, you can probably tell I've already flown this flight. This is the briefing after the flight, where I'm just going to be going through what's happened in it and what you can expect from this tutorial. Basically, before I go through the stages of the flight, each stage, just have a look at those numbers inside of I guess you could say the purple boxes. If you look at the one on the right, it says 25 and FL195. Basically, that's the London LTMA. It starts at 2,500 feet and it ends at flight level 195, which is 19,500 feet. Now, basically, that is controlled airspace. That's Class A controlled airspace, so we're not allowed to enter that airspace as we are VFR, and Class A airspace says no VFR is allowed. So basically, what we're going to have to look out for is not entering controlled airspace without clearance. So the LTMA is strictly out of bounds, and we cannot go above 2,500 feet. Everything below 2,500 feet is not controlled, and it means that we will not be controlled whatsoever, and we can pretty much do our own thing below that. Also, if you look in the Gatwick CTA, the dotted line, you'll see SFC below 2,500. Basically, that means surface, so ground level to 2,500 feet, and that is controlled airspace. That's the Gatwick CTA, it's Class D airspace, and it's the same as the 1,500 feet to 2,500 feet controlled airspace. It's just outside of that. So basically, we'll be entering from the north via a certain VRP. I recommend learning the VRPs for every airport before you actually go into VATSIM or IVAO. VATSIM is definitely much better for control zone transits. You come in with some prior knowledge to VRPs and procedures at those airports. And basically I'm here to show you ones for Gatwick, at least at the moment. I can do other airports, but Gatwick is definitely one of the most interesting. So yeah, we'll go ahead. So we're starting off with stage 1. We're going to take off of runway 21 off of Biggin Hill. And basically the flight stage 1 is going to be, we're going to route north of Gatwick. For the purposes of this video, we're going to do a transit, even though in the real world, from Biggin Hill to Shoreham, it'd be a lot easier to go around the CTA to remain outside of controlled airspace. But for the purposes of this video, and to make it interesting, we're going into the CTA for a transit. But basically, we've got DirectSat and Tower on that we're going to be using, and we need to get the Gatwick ATIS and receive and note down the ATIS information letter that the ATIS gives us, so the Automatic Terminal Information System. And basically, that's going to give us all of the airfield info. We've just got to take the letter it gives us and use that in my my little acronym whilst we're contacting Director later. So moving on to stage 2, we're going to fly on for another 6 or 7 nautical miles, because that leg is only 9 nautical miles there. And we're going to call up Gatwick Director on 126.825 with something I like to call Clap II, or Clappy, or just Clap. Basically, in this specific order, you'll say the call sign of your aircraft, the location of where you are, so you could say north of Redhill or north of Gatwick, because the controllers aren't stupid, they have a radar, they know where you are, it's just confirming where you are. A, aircraft type, persons on board for P next. So let's say 2 POB. You'd say 2 POB if there's 2 people on board. The information, which is what we'll get from the ATIS, and in brackets I've got intentions because, well, you're going to say the intentions, your intentions anyway. So you want to call up with that, and you'll get a response to either enter the zone or remain outside of the controlled airspace at the moment, and you just read that back and you fly that VRP. Flight stage 3 is we're going to enter the Gatwick airspace, and once we have visual with the field, Gatwick director will take us on to Gatwick Tower, and we'll get our zone transit then. If you see that purple dotted line, dotted sort of circle around the airport, that is basically the ATZ, the air traffic zone, and the tower controller has control of that. So once we get into that airspace, we're going to need to be on tower to get most of our transit clearance. Flight stage 4 is going to be the actual transit overhead the airfield. There's a certain specific way you have to do this, and you'll see this in the episode, in the video, once I start doing the flight, because I will be showing you exactly how to do this. As soon as we get over, we should be handed back over to Gatwick director, and now they'll give us our clearance out of the zone. Flight stage 5 will be VFR and have services terminated. That will be leaving the zone just after that dotted sign, and we'll be free to do what we want at 2,500 feet outside of controlled airspace. And that's pretty much the zone transit done. Transit complete. Just continue en route. So let's get into the sim. I will show you what to do next. Okay, so now we're in the sim. We're flying the A2A Cherokee. Sorry, and of course the first thing we need to do is get the ATIS. So let's go ahead and switch to the ATIS frequency and get the ATIS information.
Scattered 4,208 feet, temperature +138, dew point +9, QNH and 1023, fact acknowledge received information, golf, and time 1050, runway is 26 left, surface wind 330, 6 knots, bearing between 280 and 030 degrees, visibility 10 kilometer or more, scattered 4,200 feet, temperature +18, dew point +9, QNH 1023, acknowledge receipt of information, call team and advise aircraft type on first contact, scattered 4.
Okay, so we've got information Golf QNH 1023 and 26 left in use.
Golf Papa Hotel, Gatwick Director, pass message.
Yeah, Gatwick Director, good afternoon. Golf Bravo Whiskey Papa Hotel, we're a PA28 Cherokee just north of the Gatwick CTA. We have 2 POB and information Golf is on board QNH 1023, requesting a zone transit north to south via the Buckland, VRP, the airfield and hand cross VFR to shore.
Golf Papa Hotel, Squawk 3750, and remain outside of controlled airspace.
Roger 3750, in fact we're squawking that now and then we'll remain outside for now, Golf Papa Hotel.
Golf Papa Hotel, Roger, it's a basic service outside of controlled airspace. From Gatwick QNH is 1023. From your current position, you're cleared to enter the Gatwick control zone via the Buckland VRP, not above altitude 1,500 feet.
Basic service for now, and we're cleared to enter the Gatwick control zone from the north via the Buckland VRP, not above altitude 1,500 feet, QNH 1023, and that's it for Golf Papa.
Golf Papa Hotel, your readback was correct. Your clearance limit is the northern terminal. Report the airfield in sight.
We're clearance to the northern terminal and report the airfield in sight, Golf Papa. Golf Hotel will have the airfield in sight.
Golf Papa Hotel, thank you. You are Golf Papa Hotel, contact Gatwick Tower, course only 124.225.
Gatwick Tower 124.225 with call sign only, thanks. We'll see you on the other side, Golf Papa. Gatwick Tower Golf Bravo Whiskey Papa.
Golf Bravo Whiskey Papa Hotel, Gatwick Tower, Fisherman.
Golf Bravo Whiskey Papa, we're just in the zone transit north to south. We have the field inside.
Golf Papa Hotel, Roger, required ahead field.
Golf Papa.
And Golf Papa Hotel, traffic is at British Airways 737, shortly through the parking 26 left. We'll be climbing through your level and then turning to the
Okay, we'll be looking for the traffic. Golf Papa. Golf Hotel over.
Golf Papa Hotel, Roger.
Golf Hotel, we're requesting frequency change back to a director 126.825.
Golf Papa Hotel, Roger, yeah, I was just going to, sorry, contact Gatwick Director 126.825, bye-bye.
No worries, thanks, 26825, thanks for your help, Golf Hotel. Good afternoon again, Golf Bravo Whiskey Papa.
Golf Papa Hotel, clear to leave the Gatwick control zone by Haywood's Heath VRP. Not above 1,500 feet. It's a radar control service.
Clear to leave to the south, Haywood's Heath VRP, not above 1,500, and it's a radar control service for Golf Hotel.
Golf Papa Hotel, we'll be leaving controlled airspace in approximately 1 mile. What service do you require outside of controlled airspace?
We require basic service for Golf Hotel.
Golf Papa Hotel, Roger.
Gatwick Director is the 45 Bravo with you, sending flight level 130, inbound Delta Echo Tango with information Golf on board.
Easy 45 Bravo, Gatwick Director, good afternoon. It's landing 0, correction, landing 26 left, there is no delay. Descend flight level 70 and reduce speed 220 knots.
No delay on 26 left, descend flight level 70 and reduce speed to 220 knots, 245 ground.
Golf Papa Hotel, it's a basic service outside of controlled airspace. Report ready to leave the frequency.
There's a basic service outside, and we'll leave the frequency now onto Unicom 122.8. Thanks for your services. We'll see you again soon. Golf Papa.
Golf Papa Hotel, Roger, Squawk 7000, radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
Squawk 7000 and frequency change approved. Thanks, Golf Papa. So, that's the control zone transit complete. That's stage 6 or stage 5 done. Stage 6 is continue en route, and that's what we're going to do now. Hope you enjoyed this episode, episode 1. I hope it helped you. If you didn't know how to do a transit, please make sure to let me know how I helped and how I could help even further. Thank you so much for watching. Rate, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.